To be sure you never miss a Tech Ninja video, tap on the bell icon right next to subscribe. This is my third time doing this, by the way. I keep having issues. YouTube, what's up? This is Kevin the Tech Ninja, and today we're talking iPhone X. This is Apple's first time making a modern smartphone. I know that's gonna piss a lot of people off the second I say that, but it's definitely true. Apple packed in a lot of cool new features into this phone, and we're definitely gonna take a look at that, but Apple did leave a couple of things out that is really big in my opinion. So I'm gonna tell you the things that, after looking into it a little bit deeper, here are things that Apple left out. It's not all negative, there is a positive too. So let's take a look. First of all, let's talk about the display. The iPhone is finally rocking an AMOLED display. Yes! Now, Apple did go on to say how they've perfected OLED technology with their panel, settling for no compromises, but this really isn't the case. The iPhone X actually has 625 nits. It's actually dwarfed by the Galaxy Note 8. The Galaxy Note 8 has a staggering 1240 nits. It doesn't even come close. And so what this actually means in real world usage is that when you're outside battling the sun, a lot of people have to find shade or try to cover their phone up. With the Galaxy Note 8, in my experience, I've been actually able to use it in sunlight without an issue once I crank the brightness all the way up. With the iPhone X, you're definitely going to be ducking for shade and looking for other ways you can actually see your phone because the brightness is not going to be enough. Next up, we're going to talk about charging. And yes, the iPhone X supports fast charging 0 to 50% in 30 minutes. However, it does come at a cost, $74 to be exact. The iPhone 8 and the iPhone X does not ship with fast charging, so you have to buy a $74 accessory add-on. Now, for many modern smartphones, like anything Android related, it actually comes with fast charging built in. You don't have to do anything special or add anything else to it, like buy a special charging brick. However, this is Apple, and they do like to nickel and dime you on accessories, so that's your nickel and dime right there. It does support wireless charging, and we're gonna see how fast that is, but most things that wirelessly charge is pretty slow. Now, throughout the keynote, Apple mentioned that the iPhone 8 and X is water resistant. And that's definitely the case. I'm not taking it away from Apple, but it's still IP67 versus IP68. IP67 is meant for light submersions, so things like if you drop it in a lake really fast and grab it, or you drop it in a puddle or anything like that, you're good to go. But IP68 is like, I dropped it in the lake and let me go retrieve it. It's definitely a difference when it comes to depth and time you can have it in there. Now, I'm a big fan of waterproofing because I've actually had water damage to several phones of mine, being careless, dropping and things like that, and having a phone with IP68 is huge, and having a phone with IP67 is huge too as well, but it's not an enhancement. You always look for the next step, and if this is the next generation of iPhone, I would have hoped that Apple took that step into the next generation and not to the previous generation. Now let's talk about the notch at the top of the screen. People call it the unibrow, the Anthony Davis, the caterpillar, whatever you want to call it. Let's dig into that just a little bit. Now, on that little notch, you have a lot of different tech on there, and a lot of these things are actually for the improvement of Face ID. Now, the camera that's on there is the exact same from the iPhone 7 and 8. It's still at 7 megapixel camera from those devices, but it may have better sensor and image processing. Apple didn't mention if it's better or not, but they did mention that it's actually there. Now, you are gonna have some software enhancements over the 7, like you're gonna have this portrait mode, the selfie portrait mode, and you're also gonna have the face mapping to do the animojis and all that stuff like that. So you are gonna have some enhancements, but once again, next generation, next level, you're definitely not seeing that on this generation of the iPhone X. And the last thing from Apple is the Galileo support. That's actually a positive that Apple is adding that to the 8 and also the X. The Galileo support is actually big when it comes to satellite positioning. So a lot of times when you're in big cities, your little dot may hop around. You really can't figure out where you're at. You're trying to get an Uber and it makes you jump across the street and jump down the street and you don't know what's going on. Quite frustrating. With the new positioning system, it should be that much better. But beyond Uber, you can actually do things that will work better for you as far as calling 911, medical services, fire and rescue, all those things will be a lot lot better because the positioning is better, which is huge. The iPhone X even supports QZSS, which improves the positioning on the phone, especially in the Asia Pacific regions. And also that helps with Find My iPhone. If you leave your phone somewhere, you want to figure out where it's at, you're good. It tracks you even better than it did before. Now that last statement, it tracks you better than it did before, may make people feel a little weary. Let's put on the tinfoil hats here, guys. But we're gonna have facial recognition and then better location tracking. Now I know my cousins that I grew up with will say things like, yo cuz, I don't want the feds tracking me. And I completely understand that. And you know, there's a lot of things out there as far as security and stuff like that, but the way it works is security and convenience are on this little pendulum here, you know what I mean? Like the more convenience you have, the security drops down, the more security you have, the convenience drops down. It's just one of those things. And you know, as far as being able to access your phone easily and without having to type these complex passwords, you are definitely giving up some security. So that's some food for thought. Anyways, guys, that is what I took away from the iPhone X event. Some things that were sort of some loose ends that I wanted to tie up for you guys. As always, if you have opinion, if you have question, if you have a couple things that Apple didn't mention that you want to add onto the list, go ahead and do it down below. I'll meet you down there. Also, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed already. I make a couple videos a week and I talk about tech, I review tech, and whatever that comes to my mind. Talk to you guys later. Peace out. High five.